card of the day is Test of Talents, a generic and a blue for an instant with counter target instant or sorcery spell. Search its controller's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with the same name as that card, and I exile them. That player shuffles, then draws a card for each card exiled from their hand this way. This card is like a really good example of why you don't play too many 4-ofs in a particular deck. A lot of cards in black and blue have this effect where they name a card, namely in black they name a card. Blue, I guess they have this sort of effect now, where they hit a card, and if you have a 4-of, this is basically just removing it from your deck, and then hopefully it's not your namesake card, else you're gonna have probably a bad problem. I think this is a really good, especially in mirror matchups, maybe even other matchups, where generally like if a card is really good and it's an instant or sorcery, this just removes it from your deck, which is pretty good. Like that's super good. I think that's like really good value. Also, the fact that this is blue and gives you knowledge of the hand is incredibly crazy. I think it was more recently where I was playing a bunch of black decks and I got Thought Seize and Inquisition because God knows how many packed / Thoracle combos we're seeing in Historic right now. It's just super good to have information with what's happening. Like, do you go aggro? Do you not go aggro? How do you play? Are you playing the control matchup this round? You never really know until you look at their hand, and this is exactly that. Not needing to splash black to see their hand is super helpful. Like, you don't have to worry about landing or pushing a planeswalker onto the field without backup if you know they don't have a counter spell in hand because you had the Test of Talents to check their hand. It's super helpful. I remember actually I was playing my blue-white control deck as well, and I have a one of these. I'm not sure if I keep it in as a fun of or if I should move it in for something else, but I have one of these, and I was playing a control matchup. You know how we Gandalfs do, and of course it was blue-white, and I cast Test of Talents, and I see that they have got like nothing but I forgot what they have. I think they have some other spell, I think like a Search of Azcanta and like some lands, but like of course you're playing blue and white as well as like me, and so you don't really know what they're in the hand. But you cast this, you see that they've got nothing, and then you just jam in the Teferi, and then bam, you're scooping up way ahead of them. And if they try to get rid of it with like some weird Banishing Light effect or Baleful Mastery, it's like you've already drawn your counter spells, and there's very little way for them to come back. And it's really good because it helps you ensure that it just gives you more knowledge on how to play well. And I think that's super strong. I think it's super helpful knowing that the more information, obviously, the better. And this just gives you that information. Not being in black, this is good. Although it doesn't work too well, I guess, in Gruul matchups, where I guess you could counter the Stomp, but then it's like the Bone Crusher Giant is Bone Crusher Giant in all other areas. So in that case, it's just basically, I guess, a Spell Pierce. I don't know. It's kind of weird Spell Pierce. It's probably not what you want, but that's why I do have it as a one of. So I think this card is pretty decent. I think in more Eternal formats where effects like Path to Exile or Bolt are more common namesake cards, this comes better because we know those cards are just good, and so you probably have a 4-of. Countering one of those removes it from their deck, and thus if you're playing against a red deck, that's less damage directly at you, which is definitely pretty good. If you're playing against a control deck, probably don't want to play against Path if you're playing a Path. I assume if you're playing blue, you're playing more control-y. So that's pretty good. If you're playing against Tainted Pact even, like you counter their Tainted Pact and they just concede, right? Unless they really want to play it out. Then it's like, okay, if they're really going to try to go for the late game, try to cast that Thoracle and the last spell in their deck, it's like, good luck. Because most of their deck is just like removal / draw. So either they're going to discard or make it a really long game because, you know what, you just played that. That's their only win con. Yeah, this is, I think, a pretty decent card. I'm actually surprised I don't think I've seen it in any modern deck list as of yet, but maybe it's just a sideboard card for now. I don't think it's particularly good in EDH unless, of course, you've got that one person who's playing Approach of the Dragon. And if that's the case, you're going to ruin their day. You're definitely going to ruin their day. Maybe you'll give them some draw spells, but you're going to ruin their day. But they should have more than just like 4 lands in their deck, right? Assuming they're not looking just to cast Approach of the Dragon. If those don't know, Approach of the Dragon is the card that you have any number in your deck. It's a sorcery. You cast it, deals 2 damage to an opponent, and then if there's 3 in your library or in your graveyard, you can exile 4 of them. That's it. When I say 3 in your graveyard, 4 including the one you're casting. I think that's how that works. You cast a dragon from your graveyard or from your library into the battlefield, and you just play it. So Yeah, removing all of those, that would be pretty decent. Anyways, tell me what you guys think about this card. Would you play it in your deck? Are you playing it in your blue decks? How good is it in other Eternal formats? Probably not too good in the EDH, so we're probably not going to rank it for that, but I definitely think it's pretty decent in Standard, or Historic at least.